So, Coca-Cola is investing $100 million in Burkina Faso. Yes, the same Coca-Cola that's been quenching thirst worldwide is now setting up shop in West Africa. But before we pop the champagne, or in this case, a Coke, let's unpack what this really means. This $100 million investment isn't just a headline. It's a clear signal that something significant is happening in Burkina Faso. For decades, multinational corporations have looked at Africa as a land of opportunity, sometimes exploitative, often unequal. But what makes this different is the leadership at the top and the strategic direction this investment is taking. Under President Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso is redefining what partnerships like this can mean. It's not about handouts or charity, it's about business, plain and simple. Business that can create jobs, build infrastructure, and set the stage for a new era of self-reliance and growth. The new Coca-Cola plant promises thousands of direct and indirect jobs. We're talking about better livelihoods for thousands of Burkinabe families. We're talking about new opportunities in a country that has faced decades of underinvestment and instability. That alone is a big deal. What's fascinating about this moment is how it reflects President Traoré's leadership style. He's no fool. He understands the risks of foreign investment, that if it's not managed well, it can turn into a new form of dependency. But Traoré is showing that he's not afraid to take calculated risks when they align with national interests. This isn't about handing over the keys to the kingdom. It's about making sure the global economy's wheels turn in favor of Burkina Faso for once. For years, African leaders have talked about attracting investment without clear strategies. Traoré seems to understand that investment has to serve the people first, not just foreign shareholders. This deal with Coca-Cola is part of that broader mission. Bring in global capital, but make sure it's building up local capacity and strengthening the Burkinabe economy. Let's talk about what this $100 million means on the ground. First, it's about jobs. Thousands of Burkinabe will have opportunities for stable employment, from factory workers to truck drivers to local farmers supplying ingredients. The ripple effects of this project are enormous. Families will have income security. Young people will see new pathways for their future. It's easy to underestimate how powerful that is. In a country where many families rely on subsistence farming and informal work, the chance to earn a reliable wage in a formal job can change everything. It means school fees paid on time. Second, it's about skills transfer. When a multinational sets up a state-of-the-art facility, it brings with it training, management practices, and technology that local workers can absorb and adapt. These aren't just temporary jobs. They're a chance for workers to learn new skills, expand their horizons, and become part of a workforce that's ready to meet the challenges of a modern economy. This isn't about dependency. It's about building local expertise that lasts long after the first bottle rolls off the line. We've seen this in other parts of Africa as well. In Ghana, similar beverage industry investments have boosted local technical skills and expanded supply chain opportunities. In Kenya, manufacturing expansions have created ripple effects, leading to growth in packaging, distribution, and logistics. Traoré's decision to push for this deal with Coca-Cola is a calculated bet that Burkina Faso can ride that same wave, but on Burkinabe terms. Third, it's about infrastructure. A plant of this size needs reliable roads, electricity, and water. These upgrades don't just benefit Coca-Cola. They benefit entire communities that have often been left out of development plans. Improved roads mean better market access for farmers and small businesses. Reliable electricity means a chance for other industries to flourish. Clean water access improves health and quality of life, far beyond the factory gates. Of course, no one is saying we shouldn't ask questions, because let's be real, Coca-Cola isn't coming to Burkina Faso out of the goodness of its heart. This is a business move, and it's designed to make a profit. So here's what we need to watch. Who controls the supply chains? If this investment relies solely on imports and doesn't support local agriculture, the economic impact will be limited. Traoré's challenge will be to ensure that local farmers and producers become part of Coca-Cola's value chain, not just bystanders watching the trucks roll past. What are the labor conditions? Will Burkinabe workers have safe jobs, fair wages, and a voice in how this plant is run? It's one thing to announce a project with a ribbon cutting and smiling officials. It's another to see real workplace dignity and fair treatment of workers once the cameras are gone. How does this impact local businesses? We want to see small and medium-sized Burkina companies thrive alongside global giants, not be pushed out. Traoré's government has a responsibility to ensure that this investment is a rising tide that lifts all boats, not just a pipeline of profits flowing overseas. These are the right questions, but they don't erase the fact that this is a forward move, a step that can genuinely help lift thousands of families if done right. This Coca-Cola investment is arriving at a moment when Burkina Faso is seeking to chart its own course. Under Traoré's leadership, there's been a clear push for sovereignty and self-determination in politics, in security, and now in economics. And this is part of a broader regional shift. In neighboring Mali and Niger, leaders are also demanding more ownership of their resources and greater control over their economies. In West Africa as a whole, there's a growing consensus that African countries should no longer be mere suppliers of raw materials or cheap labor. They should be active participants in shaping how foreign investment lands and what it leaves behind. Traoré has shown he understands the game. You can't isolate yourself from the global economy and expect to thrive. But you also can't hand over your economy to outsiders and hope they'll have your best interests at heart. You have to strike a balance, a smart, tough, calculated balance. This $100 million deal is a test of that balancing act. If it succeeds, it will be a model for other African countries looking to leverage global capital for national gain. If it stumbles, it will be a cautionary tale about the limits of corporate promises, and that's what makes this moment so important. It's not a sellout, it's a partnership, one that, if watched carefully, can be a foundation for more ambitious development down the line. Let's zoom out even further. The beverage industry might not be the first thing people think of when they hear African development, but the truth is, it's a sector that touches countless aspects of daily life, from agriculture to retail to waste management. Coca-Cola's investment is about more than soda. It's about building supply chains that can support small farmers growing fruits or sugarcane. It's about creating new opportunities for transport companies, cold storage providers, and local distributors. It's about giving local entrepreneurs a chance to plug into a regional ecosystem that stretches across borders. And it's about setting an example, because if Burkina Faso can show that it can handle an investment of this size responsibly, if it can make sure the benefits flow back to the people, it sends a message to other investors in other countries. Burkina Faso is open for business, but on its own terms. In this sense, Traoré's move is both practical and symbolic. Practical because the jobs and infrastructure are real and immediate. Symbolic because it says, we are not afraid to engage with the world, but we do so from a position of dignity, not desperation. Now, it's impossible to talk about Burkina Faso without mentioning Thomas Sankara, the man who turned the country into the land of upright people. Sankara rejected foreign aid. He championed self-reliance and warned of the dangers of neo-colonialism. His legacy is a powerful one, and one that still shapes how Burkina leaders think about deals like this. But Traoré isn't repeating Sankara's playbook word for word. He's adapting it to today's realities. He's showing that you can be fiercely independent and pragmatic, and doing it in a way that prioritizes the people. It's not philanthropy, it's not charity, it's business. And if Burkina Faso gets it right, it will be business that works for the Burkina people. So tell me, is this the breakthrough Burkina Faso needs, or is it another page in the old book of foreign deals? Drop your thoughts below, and if you're here for real talk about Africa's future, hit that subscribe button. This is the story of Coca-Cola's $100 million bet on Traoré and on the Burkina people. Let's see where it goes.